Okay, this is Raritan Councilman Jim Fooey, and I'm standing next to the canal here near the Basilone statue at the end of Canal Street. And I'm taking these video to show how stagnant our canal is, and it's become a major breeding ground for mosquitoes. Now, as you can see, it is stagnant because it's covered with that green algae stuff, weeds, whatever you want to call it. If the canal was moving, you wouldn't have that completely covered like this. This is probably the worst I've ever seen the canal, and I've fished the canal for many years. What you're looking at now is this, what I call the spillway at the end of the canal, and right below the walk bridge. And you can see that it's not moving. I mean, when the canal is moving, there should be some water flowing over the spillway. Now, it's not going to be a raging waterfall unless we have a hurricane come through and deposit several inches of rain in the canal. But there's not even a trickle going over. It shows you how stagnant the canal is. That water is just not moving at all down at this end. Okay, here I am standing on the walk bridge over the canal, not far from Woodmere Street. So I'm literally a stone's throw from residents who live across from the canal. And as you can see here, the canal is also very stagnant. You can tell by the green, all the green algae oil is completely covered. And if this water was moving, you wouldn't have all this green algae on the surface. You'd have at least you'd have a clear path right down the middle. But it's definitely stagnant, and definitely, you know, like I said before, it's a breeding ground for a major breeding ground for mosquitoes. I'm not getting bit now because I'm doing this in the middle of the day, and mosquitoes don't like bright sunshine. Okay, here I am standing on the bridge leading into Duke Island Park, and looking at the canal, looking east, you can see that's really stagnant as well, completely covered over with all the that algae. Now I'm on the other side of this bridge, looking west, again in Duke Island Park, and you can see, as far as I can see, it's all covered with that green algae. The canal is completely stagnant down here too. Okay, so here I am at the lock in Duke Island Park, above the head gates, and as you can see, there's not a whole lot of water flowing into it. I understand this lock has been broken for several years, and it needs to be fixed to open up fully, to let that water really flow into the canal. Okay, now we're at the spot in Duke Island Park where the canal actually begins. Right here is a pipe that goes underneath the parking lot here above the head gates, and that is connected to the lock where water is supposed to flow into the canal from the river. Now, I understand the county did clean out the pipe, so there is some flow in here. As you can see, this part of the canal was very shallow up here. It's not stagnant because there is some water flow here. Not a whole lot, but still there is some movement. Here I am about 40 yards up from that pipe, and you can see it is still not stagnant. The water is clear, but this won't last long. As you get further down, as I showed in the previous shot of the bridge that leads into Duke Island Park, once you get down that far towards the old boathouse area, that's all stagnant. Now here I am at the head gates in Duke Island, and this could have the future of this dam could have an influence on the canal. The state would like to take the head gates down. In doing so, that would drop the level of water at least 5 feet, and then there would be no water going into the canal. So the head gates figures into the problem here that we have with water going into the canal. Now I'm just above the head gates, and I don't know if you can see it. The water is very low, and it looks like that's probably the pipe that I've heard so much about, that goes from Bridgewater, which would prevent the dam from coming down, because it would create another dam with the pipe. You can see the water in front of the lock not moving now. When I talk about the dam coming down, if that headgates dam comes down, that'll drop the level in this river probably at least 5 feet, and then that creates a problem because it makes the lock useless, because it would be all dry land in front of the lock. I'd have to come up with an alternative way of putting water into the canal. Now, one possible idea might be building a pump station, but that would be expensive. But at least they could, with a pump station, you can completely control the flow of water from the river into the canal. But again, that's probably just one option that they may be looking at. Here's an idea I just thought of. I'm standing here on the path that goes along the river up to the parking lot that runs along the canal, runs between the canal and the river. Why can't they dig a trench across from the canal to the river, open it up, and put in a 2-foot wide pipe, and having it face upstream in the river, and this way there'd always be, no matter what happens with the dam, if that pipe is on the bottom of the river, there's always going to be water flowing into it. Just an idea. Then you have the pipe would come out there into the riverhead, point upstream, go underneath this path, and go right into the canal. You know, maybe it's not feasible, I don't know, but I'm going to mention it to the county as well.